Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I think it's and thank all of you for taking the time to come. I'm a businessman. I'm a real estate developer. Mr. Frotman, your comments are outrageous, to be honest with you. You're talking the Democrat points. I'm glad you're bringing up Elon Musk. The American people owe a debt of gratitude to a man that's showing where tax money is going. They don't agree with it. 77 million people do not agree with the former president. And you resigned twice when under Trump. You resigned most recently in February of 2025. I kind of wish you'd stay because you'd be the first one to get fired. And let me just say this: the fact that
Congressman, can I reply?
The fact that you're on the student loan, you formed the Student Borrower Protection Center. You took part in the Biden administration's forgiveness of loans. The people that you talk about, the veterans and the poor families, their tax dollars meant to pay student loans that they were forced to pay.
Congressman,
and now,
I think what is appalling is the richest man in America telling dedicated public servants who want to protect service members and students.
Do you not have any decency? Do you not have any? This isn't your platform. I've got 3 minutes left. I'm going to ask it to some sane people over here. So, but the fact that you took part in paying off loans that the taxpayers had no say-so in is unbelievable. Ms. Kuhn, one of Dr. Chopra's midnight rulemaking moves before he left was to remove medical debt information from the Consumer Report and prohibits lenders from examining the credit history of a borrower. We've got a bill up that we're trying to get out of committee, but do you think the CFPB even has the authority under the Fair Credit Reporting Act to require the removal of a debt that they owe? And the payment of it, I think, is an important part of a credit report. Why is it being removed? And does CFPB have that right to do?
I do not believe they have that right. The Fair Credit Reporting Act actually addresses medical debt, and it protects consumers' privacy with respect to their medical information. It allows financial institutions to use the financial aspect. Does a consumer have significant medical debt? And consider that in connection with making a loan or a larger mortgage transaction, for example. The rule ignores the restrictions and requirements of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It ignores data that had been supplied. It relies on 10-year-old studies that really have no bearing on what today's market looks like. From the time those studies were conducted by the CFPB to the issuance of the rule, the market had changed. It had already made significant changes, and so it's based on faulty premise. So it's got a terribly weak record associated with it, and even the Small Business Administration filed comments raising concerns about the process that led to the rule. So I agree that I do not believe they have the authority, and even under the Administrative Procedures Act, they don't have the record that supports the steps that they took.
And that's the audacity of Mr. Chopra and his disdain for the American people. And if you're going to exclude medical debt, what about paying your credit card off? What about paying your loan on your house off? Why not exclude that? Why not just exclude everything? So you really, and student loan repayments, what's left, that was so much advocated by Mr. Frotman to give away from, or to force the American people to pay for. What about excluding that?
And that's one of the concerns about the approach that the CFPB took in the medical debt rule. What's the next thing that's not popular that they want to take out of the financial system to hide or mask information? The legal theory that they used to support the actions they took in the rule would support them, basically anything they're not happy with, small dollar, or student loans, or things like that. It's my view that that's the role of Congress to make those decisions. The Fair Credit Reporting Act has a whole section where Congress has decided what's fair to include and what's not, and they ignore that entirely in the rule.
Okay, thank you so much.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Pennsylvania.